Hey traders, this is MACDaddyTrader. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be showing and showcasing basically the evolution of the MACDaddy trend trading strategy. So what I have here today, we're working on a 36.6 King Rinko bar that you can find at ninsco.com, along with a NQ ticker, and I have a custom and also free indicator here, which is a EMA, a multi-EMA, basically pairs of EMAs that identify a strength of a trend. So 0 or negative in relation to an uptrend is less likely than something at a 20. So we're looking for 20s. We're also looking for a specific setup here in the MACD where we've hit a previous push, but then we're trying to get the second wave. And here I guess it would be the third wave, but we're wanting to combine our powers here. So this combined with this gives us a really strong indication that we could enter here or enter on a pullback, and then sky's the limit until we hit some resistance. So that's pretty much the meat and potatoes of this strategy. I added a couple indicators here that I'll showcase real quick. So Ninsco has a great set of indicators. This Trader Time Pro can highlight time intervals that you may or may not want to trade in. So that way, if you back test or you have some type of automation, this could go into that as an indicator, and you could use it that way. Also, the way I like to use this indicator is for my Hellowin Backtester, which I believe Hellowin is a subsidiary company of Ninsco, but I think Ninsco still partners with it and all that, and they still sell it. So this is a really high-speed backtester that I have on here that I use Trading Time Pro to basically narrow down my time intervals, because I don't necessarily want to backtest on the full amount of time, and Hellowin doesn't give you an option to select time, so I use Trading Time Pro to identify specific times I want to trade in. So with that being said, let's go ahead and do a little demo here where we backtest our setup. So first, let's go ahead and hit the buys. So let's get our parameters set in here first. So what do I want? I want indicator, and we're going to go ahead and say we want the signal, and it's a logic, and it's the current bar, and we want the signal to equal the value of 1, because it's basically saying it's executing the signal. Easy as that. We got our markers logic in here. Just pop this in this, and then if we want to add a filter on this, such as the filter of the EMAs, we can go ahead and say this also equals a value of 1, because we want it to be within the 20 bars of our setup here. So we're basically filtering it down. So we got one signal, one filter, and then let's go ahead and have our parameters of the signal bar condition. We want the instrument close to be greater than the instrument open. Instrument open. All right, create. And we got 1 bar slippage. And I also believe we have the commissions baked into this. We'll find out here in a minute. We want our bar to go up, and we want to buy on the action. And we're only going to do 1 contract. And this is the setup, man. Like, this is pretty simple. You got your stuff, and I'm going to show you what's really cool about this. Now, we are on the 36.6 chart, so I want my stop to be, this is about 50 is about as large as I'll go of a stop for any one trade. So we can start here, and we can set our target. I like to do a 2-to-1 reward risk ratio, or somewhere between a 1.5 and a 2. Let's go for like a 1.43 or something crazy. Or 1.37. I don't know. I'm feeling squirrely. So what's 50 times 1.37 equals 68. Hey, let's do 69. All right, let's try that. 69. And then this right here, your bar max, this can correspond to basically the length of time it takes to get to this number of ticks. Or you can set it further. So you could say, I don't want to trade again for another 100 bars since the entry. So you could set this to 100 or, anything. What I'm going to do is, for the sake of science, we are going to identify 69 divided by 6. So that's about, 11, 12. Let's go ahead and do 12 just to be, all the way in the clear there. I think that's everything. So all we're going to do now is we're just going to hit this analyze button. And as you can see, it's going really fast. I may only have a couple days on here. We'll see exactly what we get. But look at that. Look at that. So obviously quite a bit of drawdown there. But you get a nice P&L curve. And, you can do it in dollars or ticks. And that's really cool too. We can increase the size of this, right? So look at how cool this Hellowin is. It gives you a nice little equity curve. It shows you right below basically the trade number that occurred right there. So number 40, that sort of thing. It also shows it in chronological order. So that's awesome. And it shows your accumulated profit. Now, on the summary page, we are going to get to see our total profit for this random sample. And we're also going to get to see gross profit. And these are all longs because we didn't do shorts. We're also going to get to see our profit factor, which is 1.42. And that's a good sign. We're in our risk reward and profit factor triangle there. 1.42 doesn't signal flags that this is overfitting. Commissions 330, so we did have commissions baked into this. That's where you go into your indicator panel and select how many ticks of commission. And number of trades 66, so that's a decent sample size. Now I know 13 trades per day, and win rate 50, which is pretty good for having over a 1-to-1 because we're at a 1.42. Well, our target was I forgot what it was, to be honest, but I know we did 69 ticks over 50 ticks, and that was what we were going with. Average reward 340, average risk was 255. So we had a 1.33 reward risk ratio, which is not bad. That's not bad at all. Max win streak 5, max loss streak 7. And, obviously we can review that. Now, something really cool that you got to be very careful with. Oh, also, before I get to that, it spits out a trade log for you. So you can actually download this if you really wanted to. You can go here and you can save it to a file, and then you can put this in whatever AI system you want to, or backtester, and just accumulate these and then run your own tests outside of this system, which is really cool. So the analytics. This basically tells you at what point it shows the average move per bar over all the trades that were taken. So bars after conditions are met, and this is the average. So on average, for bar 0, the execution bar, we are dropping at least 10 ticks, right? At least on average, we're doing that. And that's what you can expect. And then I guess the majority of the variation is in these particular zones. So this is like low probability, but this right here is high probability. So you have a high probability of at least dropping back 3 to 4 ticks. And I guess the most in this sample was somewhere around 10 or 11. But as you can see, you're going up until you get to about the 23rd bar. And that's significant, but your highest quality trades are in this area right here. So after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars, which is, 5 times 6, 12, you're getting 30 points off of that. So if you target, or not 30 points, 30 ticks. So if you're targeting 30 ticks off of this strategy, at least in this sample, it's only 66. So don't take it as, anything serious. Also, none of this is financial advice, so just be warned of that. But what you're going to want to know is that your highest probability before a pullback, and it looks like it does pull back quite a bit, from anywhere from the 13 down to the -5. So you're looking at 20 ticks of pullback, and it happens more than once. It's like 2 times. So that just gives you an idea what's going on. And then, it kind of stalls out after a while. So if you're having something stall out, it's probably a good idea to cut your trade at that point, at least according to this small analysis. Okay, so that's just one way to do it. There are several dozen, if not hundreds of other ways to do it. This is just the way I do it. And then I guess we could do the shorts, right? Now, shorts are a bit different. I treat them as a completely separate entity. A lot of people don't. They just clump it together. But from my experience, shorts in a bull market happen short and fast and hard. So we're looking at shrinking our target and maybe shrinking our stop a little bit. So we're going to go down. We're going to go sell. Let's get a slippage of 1. And let's get our parameters in here. So we're going to do this indicator logic at equals value 1. Okay, and then we're going to add this one. Okay, equals 1. Create. All right, and then this, we're just going to go indicator instrument close is less than, is smaller than, instrument open. Create. Okay. Now, as far as what we're looking for, a stop, I kind of want to stick to, let me do 42 on this. It's a little less, but we're still there. And then for target, let's do something tells me 72 is way too high, or 80, 84, anything like that. But I want to try maybe 36 and 42, see if we can get something there. This is inverse RR. I want to see if maybe we can pull something off there. Let's do 7, just so we have an extra bar there. And let's see how this goes. We went ahead and deselected this because we just want to see what these stats are, independent of anything else. All right, it's going. And you can find this indicator on Ninjaco. Just type in the name Hellowin, and it may be on a subscription based, but if you contact one of the sales reps, let them know I sent you. You can see if you can get a lifetime license on this at a really great price too. All right. So we did have some profit here, but we had quite a bit of loss. Profit factor of 1.19. That's a little on the low side for what we're looking for consistency's sake. We did have 54 trades on this. That's pretty awesome. I don't want to tinker too much with the stop and target, because then we risk overfitting. But I could do a positive RR and see if that's going to mess with anything. I do like the 36, but we're going to try this real quick. This may be worse. Arguably could be very worse. Yeah, see, we dropped. So that's not ideal. If we go back to 42, and we could try the 72 or the 84. Let's go 84. We're going to need to bump this up to, let's see here, 84 divided by 6, 14. So let's do 15. Analyzing. All right. So, yep, not that great either. So let's go back to what we were originally working with. Best guess here was 36 and 42. We had this at 7. And what we're going to do is we're going to run this the very last time independent of anything else. And we got 900 to 1.19 and max win streak of 7 and a max losing streak of 4. So if this is something that interests you, with about a 60% win rate, at least for 50 trades, then that's something you can work with. Now, we can go to analytics, and we see that, hey, this runs about 10 bars into the right direction, has a huge pullback before it continues on. So this can give you some really good insight into maybe how you would want to set your targets and stops. But you risk overfitting if you base it directly on this. This is good for identifying common movements after your trade. So, for instance, on the previous trade, for the bullish side, we had stagnation before it just went down and wouldn't work anymore. For the bearish side, which is this right here, we have, 10 bars of consistency, just slam after slam, with a few pullbacks. You're not really getting a great, return on your pullbacks here per se, but you are getting a quick, 10 bar hit. And after that, it pretty much goes right back in the opposite direction for another 10 bars. So we're thinking maybe like a break even at the pullback, and then it shoots down 40 bars. So maybe if you can hold, this might be a nice trade to get to 40 bars, which that's insane. That's, let's see, 40 times 6. That's 240 ticks. So just for giggles, we could say let's do 220 and let's shoot this to 50. And we could say 42. Let's see what happens. We're just doing this for fun. And you'll see how it overfits. Not quite as well as we thought. 35. And, you can really overfit this and say, hey, I only want 24. Let's see how that rides. Yeah, see, that doesn't work. And then let's try 120. Let's bring this down to 24. Let's up this back to 42. Let's run this. There's something. So you got 1.2 out of this, 56 trades, 30%, max win streak 3, max loss streak 10. Could be viable, could just be trash. You won't know until you have, you're at a sample and then you try it on sim. But let's go with this for now. And let's go ahead and add in our bullish side. And when we combine that together, if you're trading both sides, this is what you get. So obviously you need a very large prop firm to trade this, or trade micros on this. But you're getting, a 1.3 profit factor, at least on this particular data set. And, max win streak of 7, max loss streak of 9, overall 122 trades. Not the greatest, but not the worst. And there's your accumulated profit. And here's your list of trades. You got your $5.95 for your shorts and your $3.40 for your longs. Also $2.55 and $2.15 for your stop loss. Oh wow, look at that equity curve. So just shows you the randomness of what can happen, and these may be time dependent. We could just do a quick glance as to what times are not ideal and what times are. You could take this into an Excel sheet and do it that way, or you could load it into AI and have it do an analysis for you. Once you figure that out, you can maybe select a group, a time period group of 30-minute increments, and be like, okay, well, in this group, this was high probability or something like that, and say, all right, let's only trade in this time and see what that works on for add a sample test. Add a sample meaning you're not using the same days that you were to test this sample in. So pick a different set of days. And what you want to see is pretty consistent results with what your initial result was over a period of time, as much time as you can muster or have the data for. That's what you want to have, because your equity curve should look, your long-term equity curve should go from here to here. This shows a huge drawdown, but this may be consistent over, let's say, 1,000 trades. Maybe this happens a lot over 1,000 trades, but this also happens. You just have to get your samples out, maybe randomize them, and then see if it works for you. Real quick, I just want to show you before we go that you can add this trade time integration as well. So I think I have one set up here. Yep. So this is just a trade time between 6:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. Just for show. I want to say equals, and then a value of 1. So we're going to add that in there, and we're just going to do a quick run through to see how that affects this. So here we go. Trader Time Pro in the mix for long trades. Whoa, look at that. Look at that. So Trader Time Pro can definitely help you isolate your trades in a backtest. And look at how it improved right in the pocket, 1.73, a little bit inflated, shows signs of overfitting, but to be honest, that was random as hell, and it basically cut down on the noise and reduced the number of trades down to 40. Not bad at all. And look at our equity curve. That is awesome returns, awesome profit factor, very respectable win streak versus loss streak, and very respectable win rate with the type of trading that we're doing on this. If you want, since y'all have been awesome, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you what this would be like if we had it on this. Now we'll see if it works. Equals value of 1. Create. All right, let's run it. And it goes super fast if you have a small sample size. I think I can load up to like 90 days on this. All right, so we had huge drawdown from the jump, pretty much 20 trades worth, but then we had overall 40 going up, pretty great. 1.23, 1,000, 30, 3-win streak, 6-loss streak, 1.23 profit factor with some profit after commissions and slippage. That's not bad. If we put them together, let's see what the result is. So we select both. Let's run it. Got our Trader Time Pro in here and got our indicators. Boom. That's what it looks like. So not bad at all. Over 80 trades worth. And our total tail of the tape is accumulated profit 4,400. We got a 1.44 profit factor. Number of trades 78. Average trade per day 15. 43% win rate. 7 win streak. 10 max loss streak. And this is just what it can provide you. It has the ability to show you this on a granular level, on a trade level. You can go back and check times. You can do your analysis. You can save this if you want to. You can screenshot this. It'll show analytics over time for this one and this one. So it looks like it kind of went range on us for the shorts, but for the longs, it was a nice run for 30 bars. Template Manager just allows you to save your templates that you have, which are these, and you can load them as at will. Just make sure you have the right indicators on the chart that you're using. And that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, follow, hit that notification bell, and subscribe. And follow us on Discord and TikTok. Join the Discord. Follow the TikTok, I should say. And join us. We got a great group of folks in the Discord that are always willing to help, and they enjoy the content, and you can enjoy along with them. I also have a huge number of discount codes that you can use, or just click on the links below that offer some great options. And if you like this backtester but want something to compare it to, go ahead and watch my previous video. I'll link it here. And that shows a different backtester that you can compare this one to. And I also have the discount code links in the description for that one as well, for the previous video. So check those out, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.